Ever want to know how to find out how to calculate your property tax? So in today's video, I will be sharing with you about how to do our property tax calculation. Hi, I'm James Lim, founder of the Property Plus system, and today I'll be sharing with you how to calculate the property tax, number 2, the new budget and changes to property tax in 2022, and of course definitely how the new budget changes will affect the market outlook and what people will be buying in terms of demand. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel on YouTube and click on the alert notification. So, how is property tax calculated? It's just a multiplication of the annual value of the property and the property tax rate. So, I'll be talking about these two. First, let's talk about what is the annual value. The annual value is the estimated gross rental and it's not the net rental income. In order to find out what is the gross annual rent, you can actually click on our previous video of the 8 property tools and calculations in which we can find out the gross annual rent. Now, it is also based on the market rental of similar properties around the vicinity. Okay, and in order to find out for the annual value, you can actually log into IRA's My Tax Portal to find out the property tax that you are paying for. But if you are looking for investment and you have not even buy a property yet, you can actually look in some of the condo research. For example, one example is 99.co, where on the right hand side you can see that they will give you the estimated rental, and from there you can actually estimate what is the rental, and from the rental you'll be able to estimate what is the annual value. Now, this is the current property tax rate. Now, for the first 8,000, it will be 0%, which is not taxed. And for the next 47,000, it will be taxed at 4%, so on and so forth. Okay? So, let me give you an example. Let's assume that this person bought the property and he knows that his annual rent is roughly around 3,500. The annual value is 42,000. How I get 42,000 is 3,500 multiplied by 12 to get 1 year. So for the first 8,000, it will have no tax at all. But the subsequent 34,000, the 34,000 is because it's in the second tax bracket, so we multiply by 4%, and therefore the total amount of tax this person have to pay per year for property tax is 1,360. Now, there is some new changes of the property tax rate from the budget 2022, and the new changes will be in this table below. But let's compare with the new and the old. So you can see that from the new and the old, there will be some significant changes. For example, if we look at the first 47%, or for the 2024 onwards, it will be the first 40%, the changes will be from 6%. Now, from 6% to 4%, the changes will be 2% difference. And subsequently, you can see that for every jump, it will be actually 2% more. If you intend to keep within the first tax bracket for owner-occupied, what you will do is that we want to look at something that you are paying below 40,000 annual value. So for 40,000 below annual value, basically the rental that you should be looking into is roughly, divided by 12 will be 3,333. That is the gross monthly rent. And the formula for the gross monthly rent is actually the gross rental in 1 year divided by the purchase price times 100%. And normally, gross rental rent that we are looking at in Singapore is around 3%. So if we were to play around slightly with the formula to estimate the purchase price of the property, the purchase price of the property will be 40,000 of annual value divided by 3% rental year, and that will give me roughly around 1.3 million. Therefore, in order to keep within the tax bracket, likely you should aim for a property to buy below 1.3 million. Now, for the second tax bracket, we are looking at is an annual value of below 55,000. So if we look at below 55,000, the estimated rental you should be looking at is below 4,500. Okay, and from the gross rental year, as again I play around with this formula, the purchase price you are looking at is that most likely it will be below 1.8 million. Now let's look at the non-owner occupied property tax, where this is more for investment, where you are renting out to a tenant. Okay, so on the left hand side is actually the current bracket, where it will be split to multiple tier, and on the right hand side it is even easier where it has only 4 tier. And you can see that the first jump is actually a 10 to 12% difference, which is a 2% difference, and the second jump will be 8 to from 12 to 20%, which is 8% jump. So let's look at it. If you want to keep within the first tax bracket, it must be 30,000 below the annual value, which works out to be roughly below 2,500 gross monthly rent. So if we play around with the formula, most likely in order to keep within this tax bracket, you should be looking to purchase a property that is less than 1 million. Now, if we look at the second tax bracket, which is below 45,000 annual value, you will find out that the gross monthly rent is less than 3,750. And again, when we play around with this formula, we should be looking at a purchase price of below 1.5 million. So what are the implications? Now this is a more important slide that So what are the implications? Now, for own stay, what I feel is that the demand, in order for people to keep within the tax bracket, most likely you will be purchasing a unit that is below 1.3 million, which the rental will be less than 3,300, or you will be looking at likely to be a 1 or 2 bedroom that is 1.3 million. For a larger unit, likely for people who are going for the second tax bracket, they will be likely to go for a 3 to 4 bedroom, and they will likely to purchase it below 1.8 million. So I expect these two brackets to be of a higher demand. But for people who are going for investment, likely, as I said that previously, if you want a unit within the first tax bracket, you should be keeping towards the less than 2,500 rental. Likely, the unit that you'll be purchasing is less than 1 million. On the other hand, if you are going for a bigger unit, the rental which is less than 3,750, likely the unit will be less than 1.5 million. And for 1.5 million, likely it will be between a 2 to 3 bedroom. Okay? On the right hand side, what I want to show you is that it is the price index for the year 2021. And you can see that the orange color line is the core central region, where the growth is only 2.5%. And you will see that the city fringe is 7.3% growth. So you can see that there's a very huge disparity between the core central and the rest of central region and outskirts. So looking at this, looking on the left hand side, which where have the stronger demand, I do expect the price disparity to be even larger. Therefore, if you can, what I found is that if you are looking for those very, very good sweet spot, try to find 1.5 million investment property that is within the core central region. Okay? Now, the second thing I also would like to share is that likely because there will be a stronger demand for newer properties, because on average, as I said, that the rental year is roughly around 3%, but for newer properties, likely the rental year will be less than that, maybe 2.5% or below. And with a lesser rental year, with a higher price, likely this will cause a lower gross rental year. And with a lower gross rental year, you are actually purchasing something bigger with lesser rent. And therefore, I expect this type of new properties, although it has a lower gross rental rent, you will be paying a lesser or lower tax bracket. So there you have it. These are my implications and conclusions. Use these numbers when you are thinking of purchasing a new properties, either for own stay or for investment. These key numbers, 1.3 million, 1.8 million, or for investment 1 to 1.5 million, is what I call the sweet spot and you should be going for. If you like this video, please give a thumbs up, and if you have any questions, please key in the comments below. I will definitely answer you. Thank you, so long and bye.